Javan Jomba Yandabo Zoe Zanji Ribada Chudu Zamba Dewa Shaba Jidin Jamba Jivun Devegalo Javala Damin Jidamba Sanga Jimden de la Jadalo Judo Jazu Jivu Zinjira Zuzu Lama Domba Jimden de Jaba Jajamba Yandaba Zoe Zanji Yamada Jadu Damba Davara Jaba Jade Jamba Jivan Hatami Namje Tomba Sangye Jumden de Banjava Raja Tuala Jazalo Judu Jad Chinjala So Lama Tomba Jumden de Dijin Java Jajamba Yandaba Sangye Davara Java Jite Jamba Jivan Devekalo Jivala Damin Tomba Sangha Jimden de la Jatala Jata Jata Jiva Jinjala
To bring this word, you who will wise that I prostrate.
Ganyan do Jidan de Zajan de la Gamba de Bonangani Jidin de na Jojo de Gaba Jala Jatala Nanda Ganga Jodo Sazawa Jato Sijilumbo Jataba Jidin Sungala Gamba Janyan Jala Jatala Tabian Daja Java Jugayan Azon Lejo Jidu Dada Jojurova Shiju Jala Jadalo Junya Laya Hava Dala Jadala Tamba Yinde Jagida Laya Jadalo Zula Dada Dana Deva Jia Amija do not commit any unwholesome action, engage in perfect wholesome action, subdue one's mind, and this is teaching Buddha. So this contains Four Noble Truths, the fundamental teaching of the Buddhism. So the next read in English the Buddha's teaching, Buddha's very important instruction that is mentioned in the Vajrakata Sutta.
Page 76, second verse. Together, a star, a visual aberration, a plane of the lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. Position things as such.
So there's a star, but in the daytime the sunlight. Due to the sunlight, you can't see the star. So there's emptiness. There's the ultimate reality, emptiness, shunyata. The Tibetan Tongpa Ni, emptiness only. For us who haven't realized emptiness, and who believe 100% true, the illusion, hallucination, projected hallucination projected false real I, real action, real object, real health, real enlightenment, real samsara, real nirvana, real happiness, real problem. Everything is real. Means existing from its own side. Existing, if you interpret Tangsa as real, what we mean is existing from its own side. Existing by nature, truly existent. Those are expressed in the philosophy. So that's the meaning of the word means real. What appears to us real and what we believe 100% real. What appears as real, all these are hallucination projected by the ignorance, not not by your enemy who is angry or who cheat you or the person's anger, not like that. It's all hallucination. It's all hallucination projected by one's own mind, one's own ignorance, not projected to you by your enemy, by your outside enemy, by your inside enemy. The ignorance, not outside enemy, not outside being exaggerated, discriminated by hallucinated mind, by one's own hallucinated mind. Not that projected by somebody else to you. You are perfectly okay, but somebody else created your suffering. Not that. Somebody ignorance projected by your suffering, projected hallucination to you. Not like that. So as long as it is your view, one's own view, all these one's own view has come from one's own mind, one's own concept, so like that. So projection, one's own ignorance, the wrong concept, the root of the foundation of delusion, or the harmful thoughts, delusion, the ignorance, anger, attachment, the 6 root delusion, 5 second delusion, 3 parts of the mind, it can be elaborated delusion of it was 1,000 delusions like that can be elaborated on the basis of the 3 parts of the mind. So it's like that. So it's not. So it's not created by God. It's not. It's not created by God. It's not created by your enemy who is angry to you, who cheat you, or whatever. Not at all. It's one's own view. So how we the way things the way that things appear to us, and the way how we believe, how we see things, and how we the way that things appear to us, and the way we see things, the way we believe, is all what we believe, what we see. It depends on what appears to us. What appears to us, it depends on what we projected it. Like that. Oh, how things appear to us, it depends on how things appear to us is what we projected. So that's the how things appear to us. The pure, impure, and that depends on the mind, pure or impure. How things appear correct or incorrect, wrong or right. That depends on the concept. So after that, we see things right or wrong, or believe it. So however, they basically projected by our mind. So we see things, what is projected by our mind, what came from our mind. That's a big thing. That's the foundation of Buddhism to know. There's nothing without depending on the mind. Just coming from its own side. There's no one phenomenon. There's no even one phenomena. There's no such enlightenment. There's no hell. There's nothing. For example, I give sometimes the example. Example like this, and that might be helpful. That might be very helpful for meditation, retreat, even for weeks and months. You do vipassana for 10 days or more, so like that, weeks, months, and years. This is very, 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 very good meditation. Very logical reality. That's not a simple thing. Then you know about your life. Then you know about your life. What is the reality and what is the fault of life? Then you come to know, you come to discover. Actually, this is something to meditate, not just to talk, but meditate for every day. Even retreat for 10 days or 5 days or a month or like that, years. It's very, very, it's all scientific analytical meditation. So it just happened. For example, So there's letter B example. So so be like this, Okay. So there's for us, for us sentient beings, how they appear, not Buddhas. For sentient beings, obscure mind, sentient beings, how does it appear? The be. Be appears real, means existing from its own side. Real from its own side. Okay. It appears like that and you believe it. So, of course, not Aryan beings who realize the emptiness, shunyata of the be and the Arya beings and transcendental beings, Arya beings who have direct perception of emptiness, who see direct perception of emptiness of the be, who still sentient being are having obscure mind, so therefore it appears as real, but there's no belief in that. Like we're looking at a mirage on the sand grains, the hot sun, and the river plus the sand grains. So you came from that, and then you look back, looks like there's water, and you came back from there, there's no water at all due to the hot sun. You have the vision of the mirage. So it appears water, but there's no water. You know that. You just came from there, there's no water. Or when we recognize the dream is dream, when we recognize the dream is dream, that dream is not real. Even though there's appearance of real, but you don't believe. But there's no belief. When you recognize the dream is dream. When you don't recognize the dream or don't recognize, then that time you believe real. But when you recognize the dream is dream, that time there's understanding, discovering understanding is real. Even though this appearance is real. So like that. Like that. So that there's appearance, there's appearance real, truly existing from its own side, but at the same time, due to direct perception of emptiness only shunyata, so it like recognize the dream is dream, mirage, it is mirage, understanding there's no water, there's no water, so mirror, so it's mirage, like that. There's appearance of water, but there's no belief that there's water there. So like that, so the Arya beings like this, who have direct sentient beings, who are Arya beings, who have direct realization, direct seeing emptiness, and so like that. And also who have not direct, but even just have realized, discovered it do not exist from its own side. So there is the appearance of a hallucination existing from its side, but you know it is not true. You have realized it is not true. So like me, as who haven't realized emptiness shunyata, then you see there is appearance hallucination, real be. Real be. Then after that second, then believe 100%. Believe that real be. So comes the belief comes that comes after the second, or like that. So so like this. so like that. We created the whole life, action, object, hell, enlightenment, samsara, nirvana, happiness, problem, the whole phenomenon, the whole thing, the whole life, everything real. So met by the mind. When your mind, not somebody else, no, not God, not others, for your mind. So like that be. Total hallucination. So we are living completely total hallucination. That's the foundation of Buddhism to realize, to discover. Very, 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 very important. Very, very, very important. Foundation of Buddhism. Emptiness, explained, such details. What there's 4 schools during Buddha's time: Babashika school, Sudandara school, Mandala school, Jidamanda school, Madamega school. That school is true. Swatangdriga and the Pasanga school. See, in Buddha's time it happened because the sentient beings have different level of mind, different level of intelligence, all that. So these 4 schools happened. So Buddha has to teach according to the different level of the mind, sentient beings' mind. So Buddha has taught, for example, in Saranath, Buddha has taught, things are truly existent. There's a truly existent I, taught like that. Understand? Taught like that, but at the Rajika taught there's no self. And not talking, there's no I. There's not talking, there's no I. there is I because there's a meditative I realizing there is no self. There is no real self. There is no real be. There is no real self. And there's a be, but there's no real be. So there's the I. There's I, but there's no real I. The I existed by himself, existed by nature. So Buddha has taught that. Then the young bhajan, I don't know what's called, then they explain the three characteristics there. So Buddha gave different teachings. Even though reality, there is no true, there is no real self at all. Never happened. From beginningless rebirth, never happened. Even 1 second, never happened. So that is the reality. But because different level of mind of sentient beings have different level of mind intelligence, so Buddha has to teach according to what benefit to them, what they can understand. So Buddha don't teach which they can't understand. Buddha has omniscient mind. So Buddha, as I mentioned, Buddha, one word, this is impermanence, and then there are 100,000 sentient beings. So they hear all different teachings. Some they hear emptiness, some they, I don't know. So they all hear different things. Even Buddha said impermanence to some sentient being, but other sentient beings, they hear all different. This is one of the quality of Buddha's teachings. Buddha can do that. And for example, there in Kazakh, I think Majida, I think, yeah. Anyway, the story is that his son, maybe the leader of the army, I think the father was put in prison, I think, his father. So the son came to see the father, but so the son came, and with many armies came with a big noise in the house, and so probably it wouldn't fall. Came with the armies with a big noise. So the king was, his father was very frightened. They came to kill him, he thought, and he died. So the son was extremely worried, so worried. And then son went to see the Buddha, and so worried. Then father died. So worried. So Buddha told him immediately. Buddha told father, mothers are object to be killed. Buddha mentioned to him. So immediately relieved from the worry, fear, worry that he has. Not actually killed, but he came with the army, so big noise, and the father died. So, so kind of having worry, fear, so much worry, fear, father died, and because he came with the father died. So, so he was relieved from the killing the father, or because he's coming there, and the father died, worried, died. So, father, mother's object were killed. The Buddha said that he was completely, immediately relieved from the so much worry, fear, emotional mind. But that made him to understand. That made him to understand the concept. Kansaga dancing, Choe dancing, grasping the I as truly existent, grasping the I as real. So that root of samsara, root of your concept, holding the I as truly existent, real, existing from inside, existing by nature. That is your root of your samsara. The Chikitanzim, holding the aggregates, the basis of the I, holding the aggregates as real, as truly existent, as existing from inside, even though aggregates is existing mere labeled by the body and mind. Same as the I. So, so also according to Sarache, Jidichi Kanjat author, then this is also your concept, holding the aggregates as truly existent, as real, also root of your samsara. Must understand. So the son, so immediately by hearing Father Mother's object was killed, immediately he was relieved from the emotional problem, and then reality, he understood, he discovered the two meanings. It means these two wrong concepts, which is the root of his samsara, is to be eliminated. Those two root of samsara is to be eliminated, is to be given up, is to be eliminated. And discover there is no real I, there is no real aggregates. There is no the I has no real self. The aggregation has no real self. So, so those two are totally, those two are totally empty from its own side. Those who are existing men, mere leveled by the body and mind. That. So automatically, not automatically, the real purpose is discovered. These two wrong concepts, the root of samsara, his samsara, is to be eliminated. These true selves to be realized doesn't exist, do not exist at all. Never. From beginningless birth. So far what has been believing, what has been appearing real and believing is all hallucination. Discovered that. So Buddha's teaching is so unbelievable skillful. Wow. Can you imagine? Wow. Yeah. There's no danger to the sentence. There's no misleading to the sentence. For us, if we do that, it can mislead the sentence. We don't know. We can't see. We can't see. We can't understand directly level of mind of the sentient, intelligence, all that karma, all that, we have no idea. So even if we say like that, can mislead. So it can mislead sometimes. It's liberating from sometimes, leading into sometimes, leading to Lord, So what to say? So now be real be appeared, and then real be appeared, and we believe real be like that. You see? Now we analyze. That's our life. This is I'm just using will be, but that's the whole entire life. How we believe I in the action, object, the whole life, and the hallucination, the total hallucination. So even me being here, talking, you're listening, everything real, totally like that example B I'm mentioning. So they do not exist in the real. There is no such thing. So now we analyze that. So without taking much time. So beginning, go back to the childhood time. Now you know it is B, but go back to the childhood time. You see a line like this, like this. Okay. Okay, on the blackboard, paper or blackboard, line like this. Okay. You are not taught yet A, B, C, D. So you see the line like this, the base. So then either your parents or your teacher who teach you ABCD, so then you are introduced B. So before you are introduced B, you have no appearance that is B, and you don't believe that is B. Very clear. Just you say the line, that's all. You have no appearance that is B, and you don't believe that is B. So very clear. When a teacher introduces you, when the teacher labeled B, that drawing your teacher labeled B. Not just labeled, but merely labeled. We go to the Prasangika, the more subtle, dependent arising. So there's some talking emptiness. Prasangika, Madhyamika Prasangika, more subtle emptiness, the ultimate reality. Emptiness. So, me labeled B. So teacher teach you the label. Teacher teach you the label of that. What goes on that. Then you believe what the teacher taught you, introduced to you, is B. Then your mind made a label on that. Your mind made a label on that. As a teacher made a label on that, your mind made a label on that. B. By believing, by following the teacher. Then that's the first thing. The very first things appear, the basis to be what is made labeled B, appearance of the B, appearance of the base, the drawing, the first thing that. Second, then your mind, by seeing that, your mind merely imputed B by following the teacher. So right after that second, you're believing that. Also, I think related to believe. Also, I think it. So right after that second, your mind immediately imputed B. Right after that second, that's the appearance of B. That's the appearance of B to you. But now, here's the question. Your mind merely imputed B, and it should appear back to you, merely labeled, it should appear back, merely labeled by the mind as it happened. The next second, it should appear to you, merely labeled by the mind. But that's the reality, but that doesn't happen for us. That doesn't happen. That's the correct one. B appears immediately level by the mind. That's the correct one. So that doesn't happen. But generally saying, that doesn't happen to the sentient being. It doesn't happen. So that appearance happens. That appearance happens to the Buddha, but not to the sentient beings. Sentient beings there's obscuration, the subtle obscuration, shaded obscuration to the fully known mind. So, so because of that, the subtle obscuration, disturbing thought obscuration, yondib, not that the subtle obscuration left of that obscuration to the fully known mind. So the negative imprint left by the delusions, ignorance, concept of true existence. So they because of that, sentient beings, whatever appears is a hallucination. So hallucinated appearance. So because the mind has a subtle obscuration, mind is obscured by that. So because of that projection, anything appears, it has a projection, this hallucination. Then the truly existing appearance, the appearance, everything to appear as real. Everything to appear as real. That's the hallucination. Existing form is a size, not merely labeled by the mind. So so Buddha is whom the things appear merely labeled by the mind is only Buddha. So Buddhas, become Buddha because having purified subtle obscuration to the fully known mind. So the subtle obscuration. So there is no obscuration of projecting the hallucination, the true existence. Dualistic view doesn't have. For example, it is mentioned in the Madhyamika commentary that when the magician person show illusions, magician person show illusion. So there are three people. One person who is not affected, not illusioned by the magician person mantras or whatever it is, material that is used to illusion the person's mind, person's senses. So, whom the senses cannot be not illusioned or not cannot be affected. So that person doesn't have the illusion. Doesn't the illusion? Doesn't appearance of illusion? Even the appearance doesn't have. The other person, himself has an illusion. Maybe himself has an illusion, like a golden elephant, a golden house, diamond house, palace, or the beautiful man, woman, or something. So he can create so much through mantra power or the materials. For example, himself has illusion, but he doesn't believe. So there are people who has appearance illusion, but there's mind knowing that is not real, like himself or the others. Now the third person, who has the senses illusion by him, and they don't know it's the illusion. They believe that's real. Not only appear real, but believe real. So there are three different persons. So use the example for emptiness. Buddha doesn't have even hallucination, no, because it doesn't have a subtle obscuration, completely purified. So sun, that's the meaning of sun, eliminated. And because that is J, they fully double realization, so that sun J. So the Arya beings, those realize the emptiness. So there's a hallucination, but a realization, understanding emptiness. So do not believe. There is appearance real, but do not believe. It's true. It's real. It's true. It's not. There's realized and also empty. Like recognize the dream is dream. Like the vision of mirage, vision with water, but the understanding there's no water. Like that. So now us who have realized emptiness, the ultimate reality, there is the appearance real, or on top of that, then believe, real. Like that. So life is completely living in a hallucination. So first make clear the B. So I said, first appearance with the line like this, then your mind middle level B. Middle level B. Middle means do not exist from its own side. It has a cut by eating water merely, it cuts existing from its own side. Cuts that one. The muscle mind, but by following the teacher, muscle mind merely labeled B. Because of this base. Relating to this. So the next second, when it appears, it should appear middle level by the mind, which actually happened first, just before first second. But because our mind is illusioned by ignorance, by past ignorance, illusioned, obscured. So the negative imprint left by ignorance projected after the mirror invitation B, then ignorance left a negative imprint on the mind, projected, and that made to appear existing from its own side, which is completely hallucination. Existing from its own side, real, truly existing, existing by itself. So then mere invitation. After that second, then appearance. Which is total hallucination. Appearing mere level by the one is correct, but we can't see that. That's the reality, but can't see that because of obscuration by ignorance. The mind obscured by ignorance. So can't see that. The ignorance left negative imprint, project, right after mere invitation, project truly existence. Project truly existence from inside. Real one. Oh, then comes our concept that's real. Oh, like that. Then comes, then after that, that's the B, but after that, if you think all the phenomena, after that, then anger, attachment, or the jealous mind, or the delusion, if one not meditate, if one is not realized being, if one is not realized being, if one is not meditating, then all the delusion comes, then they do their function, then you create negative karma with that. So like that, cause of samsara, cause of lordship, cause of samsara. Oh, they suffer long time. So like that, so they, so that's how the life goes. Our life goes. That's very scientific. That's not just a belief. Very scientific. So that's how real be appearing, then you believe real being. At the end, comes to the point. So totally created hallucinated life, appearance and belief, wrong belief. On the basis of that, then all other wrong concepts, all other delusions rises. So like that. So if you don't have, by realizing it is empty, emptiness, talking about emptiness only, then even though there's a real be, but you don't believe. Oh, that helps a lot. When you recognize the dream is dream, then even somebody show anger or anything, whatever they do, cheat you, whatever, you don't believe that's real. So there's no anger rising back. Similar attachment, all the things. So you know it's not real. So the delusion doesn't rise. So even though there's appearance, like that. So now, okay. Now the next thing is so you can get some idea that example B. Conclusion. What we met is total what appeared, what we believe is totally what doesn't exist there. You know. So that's very interesting. So now, So now we check. This real being that appears you believe. Now, where is it? Does it exist on this? No. Is that be? No. This be? No. This be? No. So this is not be, this is not be. What appears real, and you believe real. Is anyone know this? No. Even the whole thing is not be. It's the basis to be labeled be. It's the basis to be labeled be. Be and this, two different phenomena. They don't exist separately, but they exist differently. Have to understand. The I and aggregates don't exist separately, but exist differently. Same. If this is B, if this is B, then you are labeling B on the B, and B on the B, that's endless. So if the aggregate is I, then you are labeling I on the I, it becomes endless label. That's one mistake. It mentioned Madhavika. The other thing is my aggregate. So I is a possessor, aggregate is a possession. So possessor and possession, two different phenomena, cannot be one. They cannot become one. One aggregate is a possession, I is a possessor. My aggregates, my car, my nose, my house, my leg, my nose, my so has to do with different possessor and possession. My leg cannot be I. My nose cannot be I. My aggregates. My body is not I. My conscience is not I. You know, my aggregates. So my feeling is not I. You see. Cognition. Aggregates of cognition, not I. Compound aggregates, not I. The mental factors, not I. The 51 mental factors, the second of two, the feeling or the cognition. The rest, 50 what? The rest, you check out two, then 59. 49, 49 the compounding phenomena, disease is not I, it's the mental factors, not I. Consciousness is not I, not I. My consciousness is not I. I'm talking about the I, not somebody, not somebody else's I or God I. I'm not sure what the God has I or not. Have to check, have to analyze. So okay. So this is the basis to be labeled, for you to learn from the teacher. This is what is labeled by teacher, by you, is B, is basis. So it's not B. That is not one. That looks like that, but analyzing is not one is B. It's basis to be labeled B. Same as aggregate. Basis to be labeled I. Same. So, yeah. Yes. So then you say, oh, that's not B. Yes, that's B. Because there's this basis. So there's B. B exists in man, merely labeled by the valid one. There's B. This be how it exists is so subtle. Unbelievable subtle. So relating to this, we exist. Exist mere name. Merely imputed Bhagavan. You can say, because by seeing this drawing, then you see, I see B on the paper, I see B on the black market, not blackboard. Yeah, maybe tea. Tea. So please have tea. I remembered after the Mandela, I remembered where I stopped last night. Teachings where I stopped last night. Others I don't forgot. So after the Mandela, I remember what I was supposed to explain refugee bodhicitta meditation of Sangye Chodo Tsokishna last night. I started then got carried away, so I didn't finish. But what I explained tonight, it is support for that. It become basic reason of taking refuge in bodhicitta, general bodhicitta. General compassion, bodhicitta for the sentient beings, because of the suffering, because the wrong concept, because this wrong concept, because there's the fundamental suffering, what they have, what we have, what they have, what one has, what they have. So, So since I began with that, that is to be understood about the fourth eye. The appearance of the fourth eye, and we believe the fourth eye. 100% believe to the fourth eye as real. So the conclusion, not there's no be, yes, there's be, but what it is as extremely subtle. How the be exists is in the mere name, not just a name, mere name. Mere labeled by the mind, valid mind, relating to this base. So when this is wiped off, then there's no be. There is no middle level be that time. When this is there, when the base is there, there's the middle level B exists in the man name. So like that. But on this is not the B, and on this there's no B, and this one, this two round one is not B. On that there's no B. You can't find B on that. You look for, cannot find B on that, on the basis. Cannot find the real B which appears from its own side, and we believe 100% there. It's not there. It's not there. You can't find. If you look for, if it's there, if you look for, you'll be able to find. But you look for, can't find. Like on the mountain, you look for the cow, and you don't find, there's no cow. Same here, there's no $100 here. You can't find the same. Oh, that's a total hallucination. What appears and we believe. So just like that, all the rest of our life, all like that. I, action, object, anything. All like that. Hell, enlightenment, happiness, samsara, nirvana, happiness, problem, everything like that. The whole entire family, mother, father, uncle, sister, brother, enemy, brother, all like the bee. All like the bee. Like the real bee and what is believed real. That. If you look for on this, cannot find. Just like that, you can't find $100 on that. On the hand, you can see like that. So if you look for, you find. If it exists, you look for on that, should be found, but you can't find it. That proves that is a hallucination. So, in all our life, day and night, whole our life, whole thing, with all everything appears like the real be, and we believe 100% real be. All the rest of our life, not like hallucination, like the be. Total hallucination. But it doesn't mean I doesn't exist. You don't exist. Doesn't mean that. We don't exist. They don't exist. Mean that. Not the nihilism. So as I mentioned, be exists. While there's this here on blackboard, on paper, there's be. But what is it? How it exists is extremely subtle. It goes extremely subtle phenomena. Subtle, dependent arising according to Madhyamika Prasangika. That's same meaning as emptiness. So, no, subtle dependent arising, merely imputed, existing by name, merely imputed by mind. So that if you understand, that's into meaning of emptiness. The emptiness in the meaning of subtle dependent arising, not nihilism, not as Zen view nihilism, not like that. Zen or that can be not Zen, maybe they give other. Not nihilism. Doesn't fall nihilism. It's a protecting from nihilism. And that protecting from eternalism. Truly existent. Existing from inside. Real. Eternal. That's eternalism, not the extreme. So protecting from that, all the nihilism, so middle way, Madhyamika, middle way view. That. So that's the extremely subtle midway. So relating to the base, be exists, manam, merely imputed by the mind. So there's something to meditate, whole life, weeks, months, and years, and it's a very important meditation. Then we know what is the false in the life, what is the truth in the life. Then we come to know. Otherwise not. We believe. Otherwise we live life believing the hallucination as real. Hallucination, that which is hallucination as real, the real one as do not. Real one we don't understand, we don't believe, we don't understand. Then life doesn't exist. Nihilism, full nihilism, life doesn't exist for our mind like that. What exists for our mind doesn't exist. What doesn't exist, we think we exist. Total opposite. So now after that must relate to the I. So otherwise, then to understand better, deeper. So like this, the real I, what appeared, and the real be, what appeared, and we believe real be, now you cannot find, if you look for all the base, you can't find at all. Every piece is not be, and even the whole thing, whole drawing, is the basis to be labeled B. It's not the B itself. So that's a big the element in the wrong concept. So now cannot find on the base. Even the middle level B, where is it? On this you can't find middle level B. Now on this cannot find. You look for, can't find. Middle level B, can't find. This is not the middle level B. This is not the middle level B. This is not the middle level B. You can't find middle level B on this. Middle level B is what exists. But you over there, can't find. So I have to analyze. What exists is middle level B. But you look on that, can't find. Example, what the real I appear from there. We believe real I, same, can't find on this base aggregates, on the group of aggregates, on this base can't find. The whole group of the aggregate, 5 aggregates, the aggregates of form, feeling, cognition, compound aggregates, consciousness, all are base to be labeled I. Base to be labeled I, so it's not I. I is possessor and aggregate is possession. Two different phenomena. And aggregate is what? Nyawalangcha. What is taken? Object, what is taken? What is received? I is the receiver. So this slide taking 5 aggregates. Not the formless realm, taking 5 aggregates, desire realm. So 5 aggregates, what is received? Human rebirth, what is received? I is the receiver. So two different ones. Not aggregates, not I. Aggregates is not the real I. What is appeared, what is believed, not that. And that one, you can't, if you look for on this aggregate, can't find anywhere. Can't find at all on this aggregate, can't find anywhere in the world. The real I appeared, that we believe real I, cannot find neither on this aggregate, nor anywhere. Totally non-existent. So by checking, it proves it is hallucination. Total hallucination. And if the form, if that is the I, then every atom will, how many atoms I have? I have atoms from the hair down the toes, I don't know. How many atoms? Then there will be that many number of I. Every atom of the aggregate form will become I. How many hairs I have? Would be that many I. You know? How many hairs? I would have that many eyes. so many people here. You understand? So many people. So many eyes, so many people. So this one tree is for so many people. All the aggregates, all the atoms, aggregates, all the hair, all the eye, people. Yeah? So in the airplane, the ticket is for one person. But then there will a million, I don't know, billion eyes sit on the. There will be air ticket for many billion people, and that one seat, many billion people sitting on that one person. Yeah. Oh, the contradictory. So like that. So those mistakes will rise, many mistakes. Then you can think more elaborate. So when you shave hair, you'll be killing many people. When you shave hair, how many eyes? How many sentient beings? Yeah? It's not Buddha. How many sentient beings? How many eyes? How many people? So you'll be killing all these people when you shave hair. When you burn the body, you will be burning million, billion people. You know, sentient beings, when you burn the body. So many mistakes rises. If the aggregate form is the I, you know. The aggregate form is the other real I or middle level I, same. You understand? So if the aggregate is the I, whether it's real I or the middle level I, then there will be 5 I. Then there will be million, billion I. There will be so many atoms, you know. Then consciousness, if the mind, body and mind, if the mind is I, then mind has 6 consciousness, and then 51 mental factors. All those will be I. So many I. Then there's a thought. Year to year, month to month, week by week, year by year, month by month, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, second by second. So all those thoughts will be eyes. So there will be so many eyes. So many mistakes rise. And then, because there's only one eye, so then there will danger there's no 5 aggregates, there will be only 1 aggregate. If the aggregate is I, then there's only 1 I, so there won't be 5 aggregates, only 1 aggregate. Also that danger rises, that danger mistake rises. And if the mind is I, mind has no form, no color, no shape, nothing. No color, no shape. Mind has no color, no shape. So the I has no color, no shape. the I doesn't have leg. I doesn't have leg because the mind doesn't have leg. I doesn't have leg. I doesn't have head. I is headless. So I doesn't have leg. I cannot go outside. I cannot come down. I doesn't have leg. I doesn't have head. I doesn't have stomach. I doesn't have to eat. So all those problem rises. So I doesn't have to eat because I doesn't have stomach. Yeah. So it's much better if the mind is I, then it doesn't have to do anything. But it's not. If the mind is I, then doesn't house. If your body is in a house for protection, the house started very beginning human being. The consciousness came from the form realms. Very original human being in this world. Consciousness came from the form realms, desire realm, form realm, formless realm, form realms. And there's natural light. And I don't know, there was no need sun. I think that part I don't remember. There was no need sun. Then gradually, because the delusion has not been removed, and seed of delusion is not removed by remedy, actualized remedy path. So because of that, then you see, past the imprint is left. So the imprint ripened, and then attachment and delusion ripened, because the imprint is there from past life, the life of delusion. And so the humidity, earth humidity, attachment rising, impure substance, humidity. So then the light disappeared. The light from the body disappeared, degenerated. Things like that happen. By eating condition wrong substances, but rising attachment to that. Like that. Then because past life imprint, life of delusion ripened. So the by eating impure substances, then sex happened. Male female sex happened. Light degenerated, then sex happened, and then they had sex, and then the other human beings, then they threw dust and rocks. So then, because of that, then build a house. The reason to build a house was for that. It started with that, like that. Then that time, at the beginning there was there was plenty of food. There was no natural crops. Yours, mine, there's no such thing. There's plenty. So you plant in the morning, then grow, you can eat in the evening time. So like that. So then somebody then collect in the house grains. So because the past life, negative imprint, level delusion, the covetousness, muzzleness rising. So collect grains in the house. Then due to muzzleness, and then become more scarcity, the crops. All like that happen. Degeneration. There was no king, there was no leader, no leader at the beginning. But then afterwards, after all that, then become more disharmony, then they appointed leader. So the reason to have leader was like that. So as I mentioned before, so the aggregate is not I, the real I or middle level I is not body. And cannot find on that real I, not the real I, appeared, believed you. That cannot find that. Even the middle level I cannot find on the aggregate. The real I cannot find on this aggregate, neither on this aggregate, nor anywhere, nor in the world, cannot find anywhere. So it doesn't exist. By analyzing, doesn't exist. You find it doesn't exist. So middle level I, it exists. It exists now in the human world. There are 4 continents and 8 small world. So doesn't exist in the human world. Human continent, eastern, southern, northern doesn't exist. Western, northern, eastern doesn't exist. It exists in the southern continent. And this human world, it exists. I, your I, in this southern continent exists. It doesn't exist now in a room. It exists. It exists now in the Choe. Choe? Chokosum. It exists. It exists now in the Gompa of the Chokosum at the moment, while the aggregate is here. Okay? While the aggregate is here. So when the aggregate arrived in your room, back in the house, in the room, that time the middle level I is there in your room, in your house. But you cannot find, if you look for, you can't find on the physical place on the aggregate, can't find. But aggregate is there because that the middle level I, your middle level I is there. But on the aggregate, on the particular aggregate, you look for, can't find. Not there, not in the head, not there, not in the hand. Middle level eye, where? Can't find. In the heart, the pumping heart, not there. Not in the channels, not in the legs, not in the head, not in the brain. Where? Do you find somewhere? Huh? What? Do you find somewhere? Do you find somewhere in the body? Huh? You don't find? What? Which one?
Don't find.
Don't find what?
Don't find the eye in the body.
Huh?
Not find the eye in the body.
Don't find what?
Don't find the eye. Not find the eye in the body.
What eye?
Merely imputed eye, truly existent eye, both cannot find in the body.
Not in the body? Not inside the body. Not outside body? Huh?
No.
Not outside body. Not outside body? Not outside body? So that means it doesn't exist. So that means even the middle level eye doesn't exist. Neither inside nor outside. Huh?
It exists in mere name.
What?
It exists in mere name.
Exists in mere name. Exists in mere name? Where? But nowhere. But exists in mere name, but nowhere. Doesn't exist in this world. Your eye doesn't exist in this world.
The mere name exists as imputed on a valid base. So where the valid base exists, the mere name exists. I mean the mere eye.
But yes, it's labeled on that, but you cannot find the middle level eye inside the body, outside the body. Neither inside nor outside. Huh? Even cannot find outside. So that's why I'm saying it doesn't exist. Huh? So I'm saying that's why it doesn't exist. There's nowhere. So it's nowhere. There's nowhere in the house. Nowhere in the Choe Tsongkhapa at the moment. Is your eye exist in Choe Tsongkhapa now? Not. Huh? Huh?
What's that?
What?
My merely imputed eye
Yes.
is existing in relationship to my aggregates, which are in super swing at this moment.
But that doesn't. But that neither it exists inside the body, outside the body. So doesn't exist outside the body. So means it does not exist here. What do you think? What do you think? Huh? Oh, anybody can answer? What?
The truly existent eye does not exist outside our body, neither does not exist inside our body, neither does it exist outside the body. That's why it does not exist. The truly existent eye.
Yeah. Okay, that's all right. But what
the real eye that Rinpoche mentioned.
middle level eye?
That's why because the truly existent I doesn't exist inside nor outside the body. That's why it does not exist. However, the I exists by being merely labeled by the mind, which is extremely subtle. That's why we have to. It is almost like non-existent. What would you say?
My question is whether middle level I, does it exist in Choe Tsongkhapa or not?
Yes.
It is.
The merely level I.
Huh?
The merely level I exists.
Exists. Okay. It exists, Choe Tsongkhapa. Does it exist on your table? Huh?
No.
Does it exist on your nose?
No.
In your nose?
No.
Does it exist in your stomach? No.
No.
On your stomach?
No.
On your head? Huh? On your head? On your hand? Huh? On your leg?
No.
No. So it doesn't exist outside. Huh?
No. The real I doesn't exist outside.
No, the mere I?
The real I.
No. The mere I
The mere I
doesn't exist outside.
No.
So it exists neither inside nor outside. It exists neither inside nor outside. Huh? Yes. So it doesn't exist. So it doesn't exist. It exists neither inside nor outside. So it's not. So there's no. So there's no. Huh? So there's no.
There is I, but it's merely being favored by the mind.
So is it does it exist inside or outside? Inside the body or outside? It doesn't exist outside body.
Yeah, that was right here.
So you can't find outside.
Cannot find outside.
Oh, I see. The meal I cannot find outside. So it doesn't exist outside. So there's no I.
There's no merely level I.
If it's anything exists. Sorry. Well, anyway, so if the so the so the real I exists neither inside nor outside, right? So it doesn't exist. Okay. So the middle level I doesn't exist, also doesn't exist inside nor outside. So that's the big question. So if it doesn't exist outside, then it would become outside, then become no, then samastha, real I, doesn't exist at all. Then the nihilism, falling nihilism. Huh? Yeah.
We have a mind, and we can say that the mind exists. I think we can say the mind exists. Does the mind exist?
Yes.
So if the mind exists, then the mind that perceives the eye, and
Yeah.
the mind perceiving the eye, and the mind are one and the same. So the eye exists. If the mind exists, then the eye exists.
Mind exists, yes.
So then the eye also exists, because the eye perceived by the mind, that is the object, and the mind that perceives the eye perceived by the mind is the same.
You mean the mind is I?
Yes, the mind is
You're saying the mind is I.
the mind that perceives the eye is the same as the object.
No.
The mind is real.
The mind perceives. You're saying the mind is I? No.
Yeah. The mind that perceives the eye is real.
Huh?
In that case, the mind is I. At that moment of existence, when the mind perceives the eye is real, the mind is I.
No. You're saying mind is I.
At that moment of existence, when it perceives, because the mind exists at that time, right?
Yeah, then I ask the same thing, what I explained before. The mind is I. The mind is formless, colorless, shapeless. Different from body. Body has color, shape, color, shapes, and things. So mind has no color, shapes. Nature of mind is a clear, perceivable object. No color, no shape. So the mind is I. Then the I, so the I would have no color, no shape. No. Then I has no head and I has no leg. I don't have a stomach. I don't have a house. I don't have water. I don't have a car. I don't have a house. I don't have food. I don't have stomach. I don't have head. I don't have legs. So because I don't know color, shape, it was like this. So all this mystery will rise if the mind is I.
The concept of I arises in the mind. The concept of I,
Yeah.
that mean my I, arises in the mind. It will be just proved it doesn't exist outside the body, it doesn't exist within the body, but it does exist in the mind.
The
concept of I exists in the mind.
body is in the mind. Mind is in the body, yes. Mind is in the body.
Where in the body?
The body. This body. Mind is the body, in the body, but doesn't mean I is in the body. Doesn't mean. That's different. Two different phenomena. Mind is possession, I is the possessor. Two different phenomena. Very good. So anyway, or think that the subtle debate, subtle checking debate is the middle level eye. Even the middle level eye, not in the head, not in the ear, not in the nose, not in your fingers, toes, not in the nose, not in the center channel, not so that's the. Then there's a danger to fall nihilism. There's a danger to fall nihilism. So if one is not careful, so there's no you fall nihilism, saying the I which exists, then saying that it doesn't exist. It's a very important Lama Tsongkhapa teaching, the great Lamrim, gradual path to enlightenment, and the middle Lamrim, which you have started, those who have been here a long time. I heard you have gone through that. So that mentioned Papanga Dajiningbo, the great author of the Liberation Poem, quoted in Lamrim, saying, relating to the vase, relating to the vase, relating to the vase, not the real vase, truly existing vase, no. The general vase, the middle level vase, not the real vase. So just the vase, okay? You look, this is not vase, this is not vase. The top, you know, this is not vase, neck, you know, and the stomach, this is the pumba, you know, not vase, the bottom, not vase, this is not the where the water comes, not vase. So at the end you can't find, you lose. Then you can't find. Not can't find it. It doesn't help to become more clear the vase, how the vase exists. Then your vision of the vase. Now Pembin is now Pembin. So your vision of the vase not clear. Now Pembin is, I think Pembin is something about taking drugs. Another example, the house, nothing solid, the shimmering, a vision of shimmering, like the early morning, very early morning or evening time, late evening time, shimmering. You know, they what you call shimmering. Oh, then I think, I'm not sure, but now Pembin, your vision of vase is not clear. Pembin, shimmering, kind of like that. And the Lama Tsongkhapa said that is the tendency with Chetaimbe. Tendency with Chetaimbe. So that you fall in nihilism. Cheta is nihilism. Dakta is eternalism. Cheta is nihilism. Destroying tendency, destroying the dependent arising, the existence, the vase which exists, destroying that dependent arising. Tendency by Cheta Loimbe fell in nihilism, destroying the dependent arising. That is because unable to differentiate the gaksha object to be reputed, the false vase which is the object of reputation and nangwa and the vision. unable to differentiate those two things. It is mentioned. So now you see, so what I'm saying, that is by checking you lost. So the vast, you see, later on, it doesn't help to understand the vast. To understand vast, that it exists mere level by the mind, the subtle dependent rising Madhyamika Prasangika's view doesn't support, doesn't help, doesn't support with vast which exists. So here now, this way of analyzing, it only destroys the vast existing, the merely immaterial vast. It destroys that. So that is you're following nihilism. That's wrong. But since many, I don't know, many debating monks believe this is also meditation on emptiness. So you can ask him. You can ask maybe. So one expert geshe, one very expert geshe, Lama Yeshe class. He's the leader. So he said, this where looking for meal level vast, looking for where is it? He said that is the where that is also where maintain emptiness. Okay, seeking ultimate nature. So he said that that's very common. He said that's very common. He said, accept. So I said, please, I want to see the text. I want to see the text that says this is correct meditation. And then tomorrow, by the time of lunch, he said, he went to look for, could not find. Tomorrow by the lunchtime, he said. Because in debating, normally, simply many monks believe that is also meditation on the looking for that's for maintaining the ultimate nature. So like that. So you have to ask. You have to check. But of course, sometimes for some people, even though that is wrong, destroying the dependent arising, then there should be chitta, falling in nihilism, destroying the dependent arising. But for some people, you do again, that can help to understand, so that to understand, to help to check precisely the ultimate nature. For some people may help, even though it's commonly mentioned in the teachings. So that's wrong. That's the wrong way of maintaining emptiness. If it's correct, it should help the convergence of truth, the Kundu Dhamma. It should help the vast existing, merely vast existing dependent arising. It should help to the dependent arising. So, if it's a correct way of maintaining emptiness, checking the ultimate nature, then it should help not destroy, it should support the dependent arising. then depend arising, then the ultimate truth realize how support the conventional truth, Gundu Dhamma, or truth for the all-through mind, the existence of the mass. Then, so that's how you see that truth is inseparable. So the actualizing the truth for the all-through mind, Gundu Dhamma, see the emptiness only, Tongma Ni Shunyata, and Shunyata help to subtle demand arising, the mere level was the truth for the all mind. So that's how realizing emptiness doesn't destroy the reincarnation karma. It is sport for the reincarnation karma. It makes you have a more faith and understand karma. That's how it is. How the realizing Pasangiga's view, why it gives you more faith, more understanding, and the karma exists. Karma is like that. So because it helps to understand more the conventional truth, the middle level bus. So the existence of the Gundu Dhamma, truth for the ultimate mind. That's how generally understand the Pasangiga's view, emptiness helps more to have faith in the under the karma. So yeah, I think I stop here. Yeah. So I think. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So because I'm not realizing the. Sangajuna Metaboa, Juga Namda, Jendo, Jevoro, Tamanguru, Namanda. Did you all the past best which you made to call him? I made to call it by number listen. I made to call it by number Buddhas. Made a Bodhi Jita be generated in the heart of all the 6 realms sentient beings, in particular in this world, in the heart of everybody in this world, particularly in the heart of all the students, all the supporters, all the center benefactors, in the heart of volunteers working in the center, and those who rely upon me, whom I promise to pray, whose name is given to me, in all their heart, and especially all of us here, Chokosumla, all of us here, in the heart of all of us here, including our family members, without delay, second and meta, bodhicitta will generate in others' hearts may be increased. Chanchu, Zanchu, Rimpo, Jema, Jebana, Jiju, Jeva, Nyamba, Meva, Vanya, Hondo, Vava, Tanye, Tawa, Rimpo, Jema, Jevana, Jiju, Jeva, Nyamba, Meva, Yekonde, Kondo, Vava, Rinye Toba Rimpo Jama Jawana Jeju Java Nyamba Meba Kone Kondo Bava Kangre Rave Gove Shingan De Pendan Dewa Mandru Jume Jere Sewa Tenzen Jazo Ye Shabe Suje Baudu Tenjo Dedicate all that merits that His Holiness Holy Wish be succeed immediately and to have a stable life in our samsara ends. Tonya Nyanja Sundo Jebela Jeje Sanja Kanje Dendro Chana Bemo Tenze Jazo La So Dezo Cheto Longru Donya Ninja Sundu Jevela Cheche Sande Kante Tundru Chana Pemo Tende Jazola Soa Dezo Chetelundu Donya Ninja Sundu Jevela Cheche Sande Kante Tundru Chana Pemo Tende Jazola Soa Dezo Chetelundu Dona Gomba Jere Sewange Saja Jave Janga Kanje Yonzo Jaja Mona Kanje Ba Jasa Tende Nyoda Chawa Zana to every forest advice. I Chana Bemo Chela to the Jadazo Ninge Soso Tamembe Kashan Java Chava Ranyam Bekesa Chuchu Jazu Tasunjo Metro Saja Java Chela Tatanelua Mebe Damada Dagelasa Tabe Tudo Jadan No Yo They did all the 3 time minutes collected by me, by sentient beings, by Buddhas. 3 times do that. May the students, the center benefactors, and those who rely upon me, whom I promise to pray with them, and all of us here, in all the lifetime, with the Lama Tsongkhapa being mine and direct Guru and guide us and never separated from the pure path admired by all the Buddhas. So that means achieve enlightenment, Buddha, Nagarjuna, Lama Tsongkhapa, all that. Oh, Indra Gunda Java Tsongkhapa. Taja Senya Ngoso Zaba To Java Ngabe Lamsa Tenya Da Gaja Taya Jawa Maju Amecha Namda Samya Chimna Dela Jaya Java Nido Jato Choge Rinya Nanjo Jawla Sanja Janda Jawa Shoa Pandelama. And in all the future life, to be only like Lama Tsongkhapa, who did the most benefit to sentient beings, the teaching Buddha. So like that, in all the lifetime, to be like that. Lama Jigua Jinda Wago Tango Zeta Shinga Choja Tanjo Sangmo Jinda Tando Gonanda Suju Ojo Chala Toja Soa Tabe Tota Soa Kando Neve Sajoda Ado Ma Taze Shiva Da Choda Da Shiabewa Zetu by having generated bodhicitta in everyone's heart in this world, due that the matter war, famine, disease, torture, poverty, economic problems, all this be pacified immediately, and all the dangers of fire, water, air, earthquakes, all this be pacified immediately, and perfect peace, happiness, be prevailed in all over the world, and everybody become fortunate to actualize the realization of the steps apart of the enlightenment, Lambrim. Then everybody become fortunate to achieve enlightenment. The most important prayer to never rise heritage anger towards the action of Guru, and to discover, to realize Guru's action, all the Buddha's action, and by receiving the blessing of receive realization from the puppet image birth, they're up to enlargement. The whole common path and the uncommon generation, the completion of the path. Oh, Bangalore, Namba Tawala, Gajet, Tamia, Lota, Midges, Jindela, Toma, Mugu, Jela, Mejela, Samla, Jubara, then then we are able to cherish sentient beings, cherish sentient beings most dear, most kind, most precious, and you are all the wish fulfilling. They are for you. Every single helping animals, predators, every single insects and the human beings, Asura, is all wish fulfilling for you. To realize that, so precious, even Buddha comes from sentient beings, as well as Dharma Sangha, no question. So precious to you to realize that, cherish the most, and with the body speech, then like how mother, beloved child, she does everything best, what she can. Like that we do best for the sentient beings. Every single sentient beings like that. Then you become the wish fulfilling towards the sentient beings. Without any effort, then you become wish fulfilling towards all the sentient beings, all that able to give all the happiness up to enlightenment. Danya samja tamja la yeja no la la tanja jabe samaya tato zambara joa beta zoa mago ba yeja no basa samja rawa gonza be samba de dashi. The last did all the past, best, future, marriage, collateral, material, marriage, collateral, numberless Buddhas, that which are merely labeled by the mind. May the I, who is the merely labeled by the mind, achieve the state of omniscient mind, peerless happiness, which is also merely labeled by the mind. Lead all the sentient beings, who is also merely labeled by the mind, to that full enlightenment which is also merely labeled by the mind. Brahmasa alone, who is also merely labeled by the mind. So it should come some point. Yesterday I mentioned do not exist from its own side, and today merely labeled by the mind, it should come some point. Different words, but it should come some point. Nothing exists from its own side. Empty. Jamba Jeda Jamba Dagunda Samba Dea de Jando Teda Gunje Jetan Dalo Jekewa Teda Tamje Rabzungo Tuza Sebe Jawa Tamje Wagan La Chudanga Bayan Daga Gave Zawa Digunja Sangbo Juje Radongo Waraje Chuje Jawa Zongawe Chudan Namba Pewa Tankeje Zama Shivada Sunja Malaya Sama Shoa Dada Sinye Tusan Dan Jave Sonye Aladana Yawa Lozan Jaba Yetamba Yuri Banju So it is mentioned in the sutra by Buddha, Gonjo Tekvito, Gonjo Tekvito, Gontek, Chide, Monom Kandaba, devotation Jumaju. Whatever you pray, it will happen. Whatever you pray, the result will happen. So, hell, lower realm is a power of mind, it came from negative mind. Enlargement came from positive mind. Samsara came from negative mind. Nirvana came from positive mind. Happiness come from positive mind. Suffering came from negative mind. So all our power of mind came from mind. So whatever wish we generate, why prayer is important. Whatever wish we generate, it happens. All happens due to the power of mind. All come from mind. So not generating negative wish, but generating positive wish to you and for others, for sentient beings, is very important. And especially group praying has much more power. Individual praying in a room has less, and group praying in the gomba, in the hall or in the center, group praying has 100 times more powerful when you pray with others. It is mentioned in the Gautama-geshe teaching. So so in the gomba with the many monks, or in the center with the many people, pray together has much more power. 100 times. It makes a difference 100 times. You are praying in the room and you are praying in the gomba with the many people. Whatever it is, many people, more people, there's more power you are praying. So very, very important. So there's a more quotation, but I don't remember now, about everything depends on your wish, positive, negative, that. So thank you very much. Good night.